What's up, farming family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're going to be talking about Proton's newest paddle, which would be the Flamingo. It is a Gen 3. I'll get into the specs and stuff like that here in a second. I do have a discount code for this company. It's Lanky. It's 10% off. So if you use that checkout, you'll get 10% off. But yeah, we're going to go deep into how this paddle plays and if it's worth it for their $280 price tag they currently have on this paddle. But yeah, I hope y'all been doing good. I know it's been a little bit since I've recorded, but I'm going to get back into the rotation of things and getting out at least 1 or 2 videos a week. And then I'm starting a podcast that will be released sometime next week. I'm not going to say an official day in case something happens and I have to push it back a day. But yeah, I'm starting a podcast. Not exactly what it's going to be called, sure what it's going to be called, but it's going to be me and my brother, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get into this review, y'all. So when it comes to the length of the Proton, it's 16.5 inches. That's what you get with elongated paddles. This is an elongated paddle. The width of it is 7.5 inches with a thickness of 15 millimeters. The grip circumference is 4.25 inch. The grip length is 5.375 inches. If you do use a two-handed backhand, you might struggle getting 2 hands on this paddle. It's unibody, it's thermoformed, it has foamed edges. It's got the Gen 3 construction where it's got the extra layer of dense foam along the edges, along with the normal foamed edges that already exist. It's dual approved, so it's approved for the USAP and the UPA, and the surface texture is raw carbon fiber. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the pop. So this is a power paddle. But this is the thing. It's a power paddle, but it's at the very bottom of the power category in terms of poppiness. There is a good list of paddles right now that are currently out that are definitely more poppy than this. There's the 11624 power paddles. There's the Ripple. There's the Mod. There's the Picklin Electo 3. There's more that I'm definitely spacing on right now. But this is definitely in the bottom in terms of pop for the Gen 3 category. That being said, it does have more pop than literally every Gen 2 that's currently on the market right now. If the Fire was still currently legal, it's a Gen 2. I would say that the Fire was technically more poppy than this, but since it's being delisted or sunsetted, this one is going to be poppier than the Gen 2s that are currently being played with on the market. Now, the closest thing I would resemble this or put this close to would be the TKO 14mm from Paddle Tech. That is the closest thing, but in terms of poppiness, it's still right down below it in terms of pop. Now, I would say it's the same exact situation for the power. It's at the bottom in power for power paddles. Essentially, it's right down below the TKOC 14mm again, or the TKOC X. Both of them, I feel like, have more power and a little more pop than what this paddle is going to give you. With that being said, I have enough power and pop with this paddle to where I'm not hindered and I can be aggressive if I want to be aggressive. Just know if you're wanting something that's like super poppy and powerful, you might need to oomph it up and go for something that's a little bit more poppy and powerful like 11624 line or something else. But when you get more pop and more power and stuff like that, it becomes a little bit harder to control. So it's up to you to decide how you want to balance that. Like I just said with the pop, this is a power paddle. It is going to have a decent amount of energy return off the paddle face when the ball makes contact. That's just what it is, which means you're going to lack a little bit in control, especially in terms of comparison to the Gen 2s, Gen 1.5s, and Gen 1s. Now, if you're comparing this to some of the other Gen 3s like the Ripple, the Mods, stuff like that, yeah, you're clearly going to be able to control this way better than them. But if you buy this paddle, you're going to have to take a little bit of time to get used to it, especially if you're upgrading from a Gen 2. That's just something you're going to need to be aware of, but that's how it's going to be basically when it comes to all these Gen 3 paddles. You're going to have to get used to them over a brief period of time, and it's going to be a struggle. So when it came to the RPMs, it got 2,162 RPMs, which is really good. It's in the upper tier of RPMs out of paddles that I've tested and done RPMs for. The face is gritty. It feels very gritty. When I got it out, I was like, there's no way this is within a legal limit. Crazy amounts of grit. My top spin and stuff was just dipping like, I feel like I'm saying crazy a lot. Take a drink for every time I say crazy, especially during this part. But yeah, the grit, extremely, extremely gritty. So when it came to the swing weight of the Flamingo, it was 121. There's currently elongated paddles that are a little bit lower than it, but there's also some that are significantly higher than that. So realistically, it's middle of the road for elongated. If you've played with other elongated paddles, you should probably be fine playing with this. It is a little head heavy though. Me being as lanky and as thin as I am, it starts making my elbow hurt after a little period of time. So this is not a paddle that I can really use. So if somebody's got a frame like a stick man, like I do, this isn't going to be for you. The overall weight of it was 8.1 ounces out of the box without adding anything. I did not add any lead tape because then I would literally feel like I'm swinging a hammer. But I did add an overgrip because I did not like the stock grips that, come on Proton paddles. When it came to the twist weight of this paddle, this had one of the higher twist weights for elongated paddles currently on the market, 6.76. That is up at the higher end for hybrid shaped paddles. That is a really, really good twist weight. It's not going to twist in your hand. It's very, very solid. The same goes for the sweet spot. It's got one of the biggest sweet spots for elongated paddles on the market. That is probably the shining aspect of this paddle is the sweet spot is definitely the biggest sweet spot that I've played with in terms of elongated paddles, hands down. But yeah, sweet spot and the twist weight are both top notch on this paddle. All right, y'all. This is the kicker, okay? $280. Do I think it's worth it? No, I don't. Okay, this is how I sort of scale if something's worth it or not, right? It has to be brand new technology that companies have put a lot of effort and hours into to bring it out. So they're going to need to, remake some of that money from the R&D and the engineering and paying people, to try to make new cores and stuff like that. Like the carbon true foam. It had foam all the way through the core. It had never been, seen before. It was easier to recommend that because that was new technology that was provided specifically by them. This is a $280 paddle that has 2 layers of foam along the edge. There are a lot of other companies right now that are doing the same exact build in terms of Gen 3. The Picklin Electo 3 is one of them. It's got 2 layers of foam along the edge, and it's $108. Am I saying this is a bad paddle? Not at all. If this was a hybrid shape and weighed a little bit less, I could take this to a tournament, and I would play perfectly fine with it. I would play really good with it. Every time I played with this paddle, I played good. I was a little slow for hand battles, but overall, I played really good. So if you're a Proton person and just wanting the next Proton paddle and wanting one that's, a little bit more poppy and powerful than anything else they've currently got, then yeah, this would be good for you. But if you're someone that's wanting to save, some money, there are other options that are currently available. Just know I'm not calling this a bad paddle by any means. It is a good paddle. There's a reason a lot of the pros are using it right now. But yeah, if you've used the Proton Flamingo, slap your comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this. I'm always curious what people think. Even if you think your opinion's different than mine, I'm always genuinely curious. I don't delete comments or anything like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Until next time, stay safe. Have a good day. Drink plenty of water. Peace, y'all.